your groove back. This Monday night, it's all about self-care, self-compassion. Ladies, join us on Monday, October 4th at 8 p.m. It's Women of Excellence and Empowerment Ministries in the month-long series, Self-Care, Self-Compassion. Our topic, Get Your Groove Back, with President Minister Andrea Harris, Minister Michelle Douglas, Prophetess Cheryl Fitzpatrick, and hosted by Marissa Boyce. How can you join the discussion? Follow us on Facebook and also on YouTube. This Monday night, October 4th, 8 p.m. Don't miss it. Get your groove back. Self-care isn't selfish.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you ladies are as good as we four here are. Welcome this evening to our show, Women of Excellence and Empowerment Ministries presents Get Your Groove Back. Now, it's a little different from what we would usually share on a Monday evening, but nevertheless, gather around. Maybe you need to get your cup of ice cream. I don't know. Maybe you need to get your ice cream. What do you need to get? Maybe you need to get your glass of wine. Maybe you need to get your cup of chamomile tea. Whatever it is that suits your fancy, gather around because this is going to be an interesting discussion this evening. Get your groove back. Good evening. I am Marissa Boyce, your host, and along with me I have our president, Minister Andrea Harris. Wave to everyone, Minister Andrea. We have Minister Michelle Douglas with us also, of Women of Excellence and Empowerment Ministries, and we are traveling across the globe. She shared so powerfully last week, Monday, so we brought her back again, Minister Prophetess Cheryl Fitzpatrick, and she is from Canada joining us today. So wherever you are, like our video, share, and of course, we want you to share your comments, your thoughts, as we talk about getting your groove back. So ladies, did you have a good day thus far? Did you have a good day?
Wonderful so far.
Yeah.
Wonderful so
Well,
far.
mine was good. Mine was good. I had my grandbaby, and she just lights up my life. So mine was great.
And I had a wonderful day. A wonderful day.
I like that. That's a great start to us getting our groove back. When we're talking about getting your groove back. Now, please let me just set the platform now. Getting your groove back. Groove talks about, positioning, focus, movement. That's what we're talking about. Getting your placement back. Finding just where you need to be. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening this evening in our discussion. And we're going to have lots of fun. We're going to be free and frank and real this evening. Get your groove back. What does that really mean? What does it look like? So let's talk about how we've shared openly. Minister Michelle, let's put Minister Michelle up front early o'clock this evening. What has it been like going through COVID? What are some of the changes that you had to make?
Well, good evening to everybody. So good to be here with you, joining with you this evening. Changes that I had to make and realize that so much has happened, and I have the things that has happened. There's certain things that I have no control of, but I've come to realize then there's certain things that I have control of, and that's me. I couldn't stop a lot of things that are happening in COVID, but then I can handle my approach, my response to what is actually happening. So I had to pull back a little bit and said, well, Michelle, now, how are you going to react, one, or how are you going to respond? And I realized that reacting, sometimes you react the wrong way, you react too hastily, and you say the wrong things. But when you begin to think about responding, you begin to think of what you are going to say and how you are going to act. One of the things I've realized, it has pulled me back to a place where I know I'm sort of like thinking now more of what I am supposed to do. Once upon a time, I was always ready, going, but COVID, because even of COVID, has sort of like pulled me back now and recognize, hey, Michelle, you need to take your time, you need to slow down, now and sort some things out. And that's why I truly love this initiative that we are embarking on and that we have started. The theme is getting your groove back, self-care, and you know that that self compassion, loving yourself. Because I mean, look, COVID has really thrown us, some of us, underneath the bus. Yeah, some of us have been thrown underneath the bus. But I've come to realize is that your approach to circumstances and situations helps also to preserve you, helps to preserve you. And that, even what this self-care, and I realize it, self-care, self-compassion, to me is all about preservation, preserving one's life, preserving your sanity, preserving, even your surroundings and your family. So COVID has put me in that place where I am now recognizing the only body that Michelle can control is me. Hey, the only body that I can control is me. So that means I have to be intentional about controlling me and be intentional about even preserving me. And I'm going to share a little bit more on that as we continue to talk a little later.
Now, Michelle jumped right ahead. I wanted us to talk. She did. She did. I wanted to hear how COVID has affected everyone, so we can explain to you why we're talking about self care and self compassion. So, good evening to all of you who are with us. If you're with us, feel free to just jump in and share your thoughts. And we'll be sharing some of your thoughts on our live stream this evening. Minister Andrea, we're talking about self care and self compassion. I was going there, but I wanted to just hear, how has COVID affected you?
COVID. Good evening to everyone again. COVID has been a beast in some areas, but it has been a catalyst in others. Huh? What it has done is it has restricted, it has hindered in some instances, it has prevented in some instances, it has in some instances even isolated and put you on pause in some instances. But what it has also done for me, it caused me to do some reframing. It caused me to do some reshaping. It provoked me to do some reconstructing, some rethinking. I'm being very intentional about making sure that I don't go off the deep end, because there were times during the last 20 months that it's been challenging, it's been difficult. There were some days I felt down, there were some days I was having the blues. There were some days I was having the reds and the blacks. There were some days I was so overwhelmed with all that's going on around me. And I really felt, I mean, you don't feel you're home, you don't feel like cleaning the house, you don't feel like doing anything, you don't even feel like climbing out your bed some days. It just had me in a kind of tailspin at sometimes. But can I say tonight that with it, I also had to pull on, kind of tap into my intestinal fortitude and really be intentional about change. You know what? No, girl, you can't stay there. Girl, come get up, get up. You can't stay there. You cannot allow that to crush you. You cannot allow that to immobilize you. You cannot allow this to cripple you. I had to, I mean, really start to do some reframing and tell myself, no, get up and get out and begin to do something. Even when you don't feel like it, I just had to do it. So the feeling was not there. So and can I say I understood lots a lot in this season when the Bible talks about the flesh, the spirit willing, but the flesh weak. I understand. I think I live that, because here you are. You know you're a spiritual being. You know that there's certain things that you want to do, you want to accomplish, and so on. And spiritually speaking, sometimes, not even all the time spiritually, because sometimes you don't feel like reading. Might not be you, but I'm talking about me. I'm being very vulnerable and open. You don't feel like reading. You don't feel like praying. You don't feel like getting in there. So and there were times when the spirit was willing. You ready to go, but the flesh was really weakened by what's going on. The fallout of this COVID, the fatigue of this COVID, it has been what I would call a roller coaster, a seesaw and up and down for me. But I'm still here. I'm still here, and I know for sure that I'm going to finish strong.
Amen.
I like that. So we've heard from our President Minister Andrea Harris. Prophetess Cheryl, yes, tell us, how has COVID affected you in another part of the world? What has that been like for you?
It might sound very, very strange, but during the COVID period, I had my whole entire family together. It was actually a plus for me. Most of you know I do have a unique situation where my husband works out of town. And when the COVID hit, their school board was one of the very first school boards to close, and they closed in March. And I'm telling you, I had my husband, I had my daughter coming back home, and the house was just full. And we got to do so much at home with respect to the physical house of itself. We did so much renovations together. We we did so much together. And COVID, for me, in that regard, it was a plus. I really enjoyed the time. Listen, I am truly not an outdoor person. My big girl said, Mommy, you got no friends. You don't go nowhere, you know? So the thing about it, I didn't miss really going outside because I'm not outgoing. And having the children, my husband, all together at home, it was great. The only big challenge that I face, I'll be very frank and very transparent with you, they wouldn't keep the house clean. And that part, I cannot function when the place is disrupted. So the biggest challenge for me at that time was being able to see things undone and just go like this, close my eyes. I had to literally close my eyes to keep my sanity, because most of my family know I just like things neat around me, and I work with a schedule. So that was my biggest challenge for COVID. Everybody's being at home and keeping the house under control. And but nevertheless, I know out there, I heard you ladies, some areas were challenging, and everybody everybody have their own different situations. But for me, I find myself, even with my business, um, it expanded, and I was able to do so much ministry with young people, people that will come and sit in my chair whilst getting their hair done. I was truly, and I was just giving God praise, I was truly ministering to young people every single appointment. And that was really a blessing for me. So, as I mentioned, COVID hit many people in many different ways. And that was my experience around the COVID period.
Well, I like that because at least we're hearing the varying ways that the experience with COVID has been. Minister Andrea Harris, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Oh yeah,
Minister
yes.
Michelle talking about she was always on the go, she had to pause. And it's interesting that we're having this discussion and talking about, and then Minister Cheryl talking about the fact that she had her family close. One of the interesting things is that we must understand that COVID, everyone experienced it differently.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone experienced it
that's
differently.
correct.
And I think we need to understand that we need to be compassionate with ourselves about it. Cheryl talking about having everybody home, the home not being the way that she would want it to be. Minister Michelle now having to adjust her strategy of always on the go now to being pause. Minister Andrea Harris, and we've heard her talk about the whole effects with in her past shows about her body
Menopause.
changes and menopause and everything. So we understand the difference. And for me, I went through something major that I major going through transitioning with work and so forth, and it happening publicly. I felt that I can be honest. We are going to be transparent. There were some
Yes.
people that were mean in this season, and I know they didn't intend to be mean. If I can say that, they didn't intend to be mean, but they were mean in the season. Sometimes the things they said, and sometimes the pressure that you felt, and then I had to, as Michelle said, I had to come back. In one of our shows, I actually said that God had to show me something. Yes, it's a transition period, and I'm still with you in this transition period, and to understand that it's okay to have a little self compassion. Can I say that? A little
Yes.
self compassion,
Of
because
course.
it is amazing that we are going through 31 days, 31 days where we are transitioning with a new habit. Can I say that? Sometimes we have to start a new habit, a new habit
Yes.
where you show yourself a little love, a little more love than you
That's
normally
true.
would. And I'm not
That's
talking about,
true.
listen to me, these ladies here can throw down their hair, makeup, dress, everything is, as the young people say, on point, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then there's a point where you have to show yourself a little more
That's right.
grace,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
a little more
That's right.
compassion. How many of you felt that um how many of you felt that in this season that sometimes you felt like you should have done more, or you could have done more with your time before? Like you felt like you wasted time, or you allowed opportunities to pass? And anybody ever felt that way? And I'm not talking only about the panel, but those who are viewing with us, where you looked at time differently, because there are a lot of people who wrote books in this season. There are people who started businesses in this season. There are lots of people who did other things, branched out on new things. But when you looked at time, you felt like, oh my goodness, look at all this time. And then you start to compare yourself to others, and you were less compassionate to yourself. And I found
Hmm.
that sometimes because of that, we forget that we are human.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
There's a
Come
human
on.
side to
That's
us.
so true.
And that's when the enemy starts to speak into your ear and to your spirit, and, and,
Hmm.
and, and cause you to think like, oh, Minister Andrea, you don't, no, no, man, that ain't working. Minister Cheryl, you sure? Mm-mm. Michelle, go sit down. Those kind of things. I don't know if anybody ever experienced those things in the season, where you started to feel like your worth was less than, because you were looking at other people. The enemy started speaking to your ear, and then I don't know about you, but I had COVID fatigue.
Hmm.
I had enough of
Mm-hmm.
it. And then, if you're like me, the ability not to go outside. Oh my goodness, that was major. You know, where they're saying, you know what, I got some girlfriends, I can hang out with my girlfriends, then realizing you can't, because COVID has stopped it. So then we had to be compassionate to ourselves, because it is a major transition, and we're still making that major transition. And to understand it, that's why we're talking about 31 days of creating a new habit, where you show yourself some self-care and some self-love. I don't know if Sheldon has any of those videos that we can pop in and show in between our segment this evening, where we had some folks sharing with us. So I see Pat, Deborah Ann, good morning, Julita, Sally, good evening to all of you. Anella Archer, I see all of you. Hello, Kathy, Jacqueline.
Hi,
You can see the
Anela.
comments, right? Right.
Anela's
So,
Anela's from New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, hey, hey,
Yes.
hey. So, everyone in the house with us this evening, we are talking about getting your groove back. So, after all of this, in the house with the family, you're not going outside, but Cheryl said that was fine for her. I know that Minister Michelle and Minister Andrea struggle with that, because these are two social butterflies, and and not then we had the king's daughters and everything, that missing that greatly, and I know the other
Yes.
ladies missed it.
Tell you.
Yes.
How were you able to find a new norm in it, finding your new norm? Because I can tell you something. You see all of the clothes that I had put on for special occasions. You see all the I'm sorry. I'm a necklace and a shoe person. Anybody who knows that I'm a necklace and a shoe person. If I go in the supermarket, I put on my necklace. because that's the only place I was going. That's the only place we could go. You know, we had to line up by the days of the week by your Cheryl. If you didn't know, here we had to we were guided as to how to go out to the supermarket, to the
Same here.
doctor, everything. So we went out on
Same
specific
here.
days, and when I realized that my shoes were dry rotting, and then I realized that I have not worn my necklace in months, I said, no, no, no. I pulled out my stuff and I said, oh, these special occasion clothes, I'm sorry. I'm wearing my clothes. That's how I got my
Yes.
group. That's what I did for me. So whether you saw me, you said, Marissa, she's too naff, as the Jamaicans would say. She's too naff. That's all right. That's how I was able to show myself some self-care and some self-love. Because there's something that was missing. So
Yes.
her Sally say wear them. Yes, I still gonna wear them, Sally. Even if I go in the supermarket. But I'm just saying that you have to find your norm. So whether it meant um, wearing a shirt that you have not worn for a long time, put on the shirt and wear it. So Minister
Yes.
Andrea, Minister Michelle, Minister Cheryl, what did you ladies do to start to get your groove back
Let me
after
tell you,
not being outside?
listen to me.
Girl.
Listen to me. I look good every time, especially my husband being home. Oh,
You go,
man.
girl. You go, you go, girl. You go, Cheryl.
My little girl, she said, "Mommy, I don't understand." I said, "What you don't understand?" I said, "I was in the bathroom and I was getting ready to go to my favorite spot, my favorite place. And my favorite place is the grocery store. I don't know, but I guess seeing that I have so many children, I am always in the grocery store buying food. And I got a real liking for the grocery store. So when I was getting ready, she said, "Mommy, you're just going to the grocery store. Why do you?" Man, that was my teaching moment for my little one. I said, "You come here." I said, "Any place you leave this house to go." I said, "You find the best jeans, the best t-shirt, and I fix your hair. Make sure you're looking good, even when I send you right across the street at Tim Hortons." I said, "Make sure you look good." So you know why mommy's here? Because I like to look good. And how you look is how people will look at you.
That's so
Let
true.
me give you this thing. And this happens very often when I go to either Walmart, I go to I go to the big malls, you know, and I am minding my own business in my aisle, shopping. People oftentimes come to me and they have, and this is man and woman. "Excuse me, madam. I need your opinion. Do you think this color looks nice on me? Excuse me, madam. I'm not being rude. I have my wife, and I look at you, and I think you will know if this would be nice for her." It happens all the time. Why? How we present ourselves
That's it.
when we go out,
Yes.
how we
Here's your
look.
sister.
We
Here's your
have to look
sister.
prime.
I saw someone say that they dressed up for online church. I did too. People thought I was crazy. I dressed up for online church. I brought my A
I did
game
too.
every Sunday. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
I
Yep.
personally think it's wired in us, in our personhood. But what happened? Stress, frustration, constant fatigue and tiredness that cause the body to run down. That women, they tend to cave in with the frustration, cave in with the stress, and they don't think that it's important to look good. The first thing I believe, anytime you're feeling down and out,
Dress up.
just go and fix your face a little bit.
Yes.
Look
Yes.
look for the best clothes to even go at the grocery store. It will make your mental mind start seeing things in a different perspective of life.
I think so. I think so. And I know I'm gonna talk with Minister Andrea and Michelle. They do the same thing too. Isn't that so? Isn't that so, Minister Andrea, Minister Michelle? Don't. And that's one. I think that's a standard that you set for yourself, where you
Yes.
recognize that
Yeah.
um, you bring your A game. And I'm not talking about making anyone feel uncomfortable. You find where your A game is. But for me, I know that during COVID, you know, you had to find an outlet because you weren't going out. You were accustomed doing something that you no longer have the opportunity to do. So now you have to find a new norm. Minister Andrea, what was it? How did you start to find your groove back in the midst of it?
Okay, I'm not sure what happened, Jessa, because actually I dropped out, so I'm not sure what you were saying, Marissa,
No,
because
I was
everything
saying you
was
can tell
stuck
us
and I
how.
dropped out.
Well, I was saying you can tell us how you started to get your groove back. After to going through everything, you recognize this is where I'm at. What did you then start to do to bring yourself back to the place of feeling the way that you were before?
Okay, I on mornings like it would have been last year when I would still go to the school on mornings, and I made sure that every morning that I'm going to the school to take breakfast for the students, I dress in my best. I put on my heels. Just want to take breakfast for the students. I dress in my best. I put on my heels. I powder my face, yes, with my mask, but I make sure that I strut my stuff. I look good to the extent that the director and the others that saw me said, "Oh, you look nice today." And I made sure because, as Cheryl was saying, I understood that I had to be intentional, and you would hear me use the word intentional a lot because I recognize that in this season, if we must overcome whatever is stacked up against us, we must be very intentional about it. So what I would do, I showed myself compassion. I made sure that I accepted the fact that and before I even say this, I would say I looked at the fact that, oh, here's the thing that sometimes we thought that I need to have this, I need to have that.
Mm, I think she got stuck.
You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just there saying Minister Andrea got stuck
Yeah.
for a
Yeah,
bit.
I dropped out again. Yeah, I dropped out
Yeah,
again.
because you
But
said you showed
COVID,
yourself
COVID.
compassion.
Yeah, I did. I showed myself. I examined my humanness, and I recognized that what I was feeling was normal. And the same way as a counselor and as someone that would in that profession as a therapist, I would look to show empathy and sympathy and kindness to someone else. I decided, look, let me do it. Let me have a Me Too moment now, and let me show it to me. So if I would say counseling someone, I would say, well, look, this is what to do for yourself. Have some as you would say, cupcake moments, and dress up and go to the grocery store, or go to the store, just put on something nice, and put on some
Yes.
nice smelling perfume, that
Yes.
when someone sees you, they will say, oh, I love that fragrance. What's the name of that fragrance? And
Hmm.
feel good about
With yourself.
yourself.
That's
It's a
Yes.
right.
it's
That's
like a pick
right.
me up. It's like a
That's
pick
it.
me up. So I
Hmm.
pick myself up and I say, you know what? Instead of leaving and going on mornings to the school with two flat shoes, I said, no, no,
Uh-huh.
no. I put my heels on. I put my nice slacks on, and I dressed myself nice. I had my hair look nice, and I went to the school. And then I went and I picked my grandbaby up. And whenever I left home, to the extent that one of my daughters said, "Mommy, you dressed up very much." I said, "Yes." Because I am showing me some
Right.
compassion, some care,
Love.
some care,
That's
some
right.
Some
love,
love.
some yes, I am loving on me. So I made sure that whatever I did, I look good. As someone said, for church at home, when we were doing online church, I dressed up like if I was going to my church. But of course, it was still limited because it was hot. So you still don't want to overdo it, and then you melt while you're doing your online. But the truth is, I was very intentional about feeling good about me because if I don't feel good about me, despite what you said, that you can pay me 100 compliments, it goes nowhere. If
That's
first
true.
of all, I don't feel that love for me, that
Exactly.
compassion, that humanness, and I don't understand. You know what? Let me give me the kindness and the love and the affirmation and the encouragement that I would give to a client. Let me do it to me now, because
Hmm.
in this season I must have some Me Too moments. And that's what I did. And I found that that helped me a lot mentally. It helped me a lot psychologically. I started to look at, sometimes we put so much emphasis on materialism. But as Marissa said, when you went to the shoes started to dry rot. When they went to the bags started to, some of them started to peel or whatever and skin. And you're saying sometimes our emphasis can be on materialism, but if we don't feel good about ourselves and we don't pick ourselves up and we don't lift ourselves up, then despite what we have, it does not bring us that that joy, that contentment, that affirmation, that approbation. It does not do it. So it means that we have to do it to ourselves first before anything else
Amen.
around
That's
us
right.
That's
can
right.
have a
Right.
positive impact on
That's
our
right.
lives.
That's
So that's
right.
what I did.
You know, I often remember we can't pour from an empty cup. Michelle, let's hear from you. And then we've got one of our self-compassion, self-care moments to share with you all over the world. Go ahead, Michelle.
I remember COVID came and King's daughter stopped. That was a big thing. That was a big thing for me. And I remember being at home, Cheryl, and you're interacting every Monday with all these ladies, and you are at home, Minister Harris, and nobody to talk to. There's no interaction. There's no laughter. There's no worship. There's no going into groups. And ladies, it got kind of dark for me. It felt like I'm all alone, and what am I gonna do now? And who am I? And there was a particular day I took up the phone and started to WhatsApp the ladies. And how are you doing today? And how are you doing today? That brought me joy. But one of the things I realized that I had to do was to leave my home. Leave my home, Cheryl, and go walking. I go walking and just walk. And I remember going walking. Minister, as you talk about dressing up, I spray on perfume. I had all my track, all the softwares, and I put on
Yes.
perfume and make your face and you brush it. But Michelle, you're going walking. But I wanted to go walking. And I remember my husband John, we were together, and we started walking in roads that I've never been through here before. Are there any dogs? But yet I was literally enjoying that moment. Cheryl, it felt good to be
Good.
outside, to let the air blow, and seeing somebody walking the street. They probably thought that I was crazy. And I said, "Hi, how are you today?" Because it felt good that you could interact with somebody else. And even that they responded. That was a turning point for me. Those moments going and walking and enjoying the outdoors. That was a turning point for me. And I want to pick up something here that Minister Harris said. You've got to love yourself. You've got to appreciate you. Even Marissa, even in times when you feel not with it, it is hard, but you've got to come to that place. Hey, there's only one Michelle. There's only one Marissa. There's only one Cheryl. There's only one of you. There's not a duplicate nowhere else. And
Amen.
you gotta come and say, Michelle, you come on, you even sometimes slap yourself and say, get up. You're not accustomed to be here. Get moving. You can do better than this. Sometimes you gotta talk to yourself. Ain't that you're crazy, but sometimes you've gotta talk to yourself and say, come on, you can do better than this. You can do better than this, because you know what? You're special. You're unique.
Right.
Different. And I remember during those seasons, I had to tell myself, because going back to what you said, Marissa, you're so accustomed doing, and all of a sudden, you ain't doing no more. So then you say, well, what am I used to? I'm so
Yeah.
accustomed going and do. And so many negative thoughts come in your brain at that point in time, that if you're not careful, you will live there. Cheryl, you will dwell there and you stay there. But then you come to realize, listen, no, so this is not the place where I am supposed to be.
To be.
I'm not supposed to be here. So you gotta come on, Michelle, get right up. Let's
Yes.
going.
Mm-hmm.
Get up, come on. Begin to love yourself and say, come on, girl, come on. Like, and people laugh at that because you're not the first person I told. I'm gonna put on perfume to dress up to go walking. And
Yes,
I
Mm-hmm.
yes, all the time. It's
that
not
made
true.
me feel good. I'm walking pretty. That time you're going up a hill and you're panting, You're going up a hill and you're panting, but you're walking pretty because you're outside and you're enjoying that moment. You're
Yeah.
enjoying you. You're enjoying your moment. You're enjoying you. So that was it
Mm-hmm.
for me.
I like that because at the end of the day, we've understood that we've had to find a new norm. That's what I
Correct.
want us to
Yeah.
pause there because you had to find a new norm. That did not
Mm-hmm.
mean that because COVID was here, we transitioned from going to church, going out to
Mhm.
work, going out hugging, especially the hugging each other part,
Mm-hmm.
um, being able to interact with people closely as you would have before, even sometimes your own family members you were not able to interact with as you would have before. So then that means now you had to talk to yourself and
Correct.
encourage yourself and see differently. So for example, for me, in terms of wearing my, you decided that, we have things for this occasion, that occasion. Every day was a good occasion to dress up as long as I was leaving the house. And I meant I was going to work too. And believe I was going to work and I was still wearing you didn't see me, but I had on my clothes. I had on my necklaces and stuff because because imagine you're going onto a compound, but you're not seeing anybody. So it was still as much as you were going out, you still weren't interacting with people. So I still had to find a way that made me feel good and allowed me to express myself. I'm a creative, so as a creative, I needed to have the ability to still express myself. I want to say good evening to Angela and Bev and Abby who are all with us. Wilma says I played some oldies sometimes and watch myself dance in front of the mirror. I love that, man. I love that. She said she put on some oldies and she danced in front of the mirror because you had more time now. And Pat says to go to the beach and relax was also refreshing. And I wonder how many of you, and I'm
Yes.
gonna put a lot of y'all ladies on blast now. How many of y'all been to the beach? When was the last time a lot of you put on a bathing suit here in
I
Newport
went. I
Beach and
went.
went to the beach? I did too because a lot of you are like, I don't want to sit to me, hold, fold, rolled, or whatever. Put on your bathing suit and go and enjoy the beach. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying because
Yeah, that, yes.
we've been so harsh on ourselves that we forgot to enjoy the beach. We're going to talk about self talk when we come right back, Sheldine. We're going to share with you one of our self care, self compassion videos.
I hope everyone is doing well and keeping as safe as they possibly can. Now, I'm excited about October, and let me tell you why. Because this month is Love Yourself Month, and I want to invite all of my primary contacts to take part in this intentional self-care, self-compassion challenge. So all you have to do is record 45 seconds of yourself in your self-care routine, whether that's watching TV, cooking, cleaning, reading a book, whatever the case may be. So let's go take a look and see what mine is. Here we go. One of my main things to do to take care of myself is working out. So that concludes what my self-care and self-compassion month will comprise of. Let's see what yours looks like. Take care, fam.
See, that's Wesley there talking
Yeah.
about what
Yes.
he does for his self care, self compassion moment. And we've got quite a few. I'm going to share. If we can see if we can share about some others with you as we go through the evening. It is interesting that it looks different for others, but you have to show yourself some self care. Some self care. I know there's some women who don't like makeup. I'm sorry, I love makeup. I experimented with it. I've been trying to get this wing thing drawn. It ain't happened yet. But I was trying it. I was trying it, Cheryl. I was. It has not worked out, but I've been trying it. So I'm just saying there are different ways that you've got to show yourself some self care and some self love. I went
Yeah.
to the
So
beach
important.
and and I'm
Yeah.
not afraid to go to the beach and enjoy those things. I'm actually went around driving around with the girls and some friends. So it was good. It was good to be able to within our 6 feet, our social distancing protocols, still allow yourself to have a new norm. And I'm talking about self talk. Self-talk. This thing about speaking to yourself.
Mhm.
David asks, "Why are you so downcast?" You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
why?
In my
So you
soul,
have to
Mhm.
tell yourself, okay,
let your
so
hope in
this is
God.
the way it is, and because
Mhm.
this is the way it is, I had to try to learn some new recipes. Children
Mhm.
perfected their baking. Cheryl, how did you self-talk to yourself in this season, Cheryl? But you didn't have to, because Cheryl says her husband was home, so she was dressing up.
Listen,
Cheryl,
listen. I normally get my lashes done, so I make sure my lashes is always. That's how I treat myself. I always love beauty from small. When they asked me at home in Trinidad, "What do you want to be?" I said, "I want to be a cosmetologist." And I grew up big girl, and I went to school back here in Canada, and I did my cosmetology course. I did my hairdressing course. I did some administration. I did my accounting, and then I did some ministerial where I did my bachelor's in ministry. But let me tell you, my love is beauty. I like to transform people, face, hair, and how they look. That's me. So whilst I'm home, even though I don't go much places or don't talk to much people, I take care of me. Last when I was 50 years old, I decided to cut all my hair off. And I said, I'm blonding it. I blonde my hair. And I said, I feel good. I feel good. And then after that, I have 100 wigs. I put on one whenever I feel like. Then I look for some nice clothes on Fashion Nova. I said, I like this, I like that, I like how this look. And make me feel good. Listen, I don't expect anybody out there to look at me. One person must look at me, and it's my husband. And he better tell me I'm looking good.
Come on now.
Michelle, how did you self-talk? Self-talk, Michelle.
One of the things that came out of COVID is me doing my own hair and not going to the hairdresser. Me doing it my own self, coloring it and everything. And that was a moment for me.
I
I took
admire
so
you.
many pictures. Check this out. Michelle, you can do this. Look how hot you look. Girl, I felt good about that when I came in. So, I like what Cheryl said because when my husband came home, I like this turning my head and you see, and he said you went to the hairdresser. I said yes, but you didn't tell me you were leaving home. I said she was here. She was, I did my own hair. That made me feel good. That was my self compassion, self care, whatever you want to put it. That was my moment. And let me do something. I've been continue doing it too.
Amen.
I'm
Praise the
continuing
Lord.
doing it too. So that was my moment. So you see, you gotta love yourself, man.
You have
Yeah.
to.
You gotta want to look good. Yes, as we get older,
Mhm.
things will get older. But hello, I always tell people don't get old up here though.
Amen. Amen.
Up here. Don't get all up here.
That's
Your
right.
body will get interesting. Let me use that word. But your mindset on how you perceive yourself and how you want yourself to look, that comes, you gotta maintain that. And that's one of the things that I wanted. I want to look at my age 53. I want to begin to look like 25. I tell my son saw me dressing up. He said, but mommy, now you getting old. I said, boy, it's all in your mind. It's all in your mind.
Hey, hey.
You know,
Wow.
those are things that even that you have to tell yourself how special you are. People may
Yeah.
see you how special you are or how you feel good about your age because even so, many persons did not live to see the ages we are
That's
at.
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And that's
true.
an awesome thing to celebrate. But
That's true.
when you really look back, you really have to love yourself. And the other thing I want to say here, if you love and appreciate yourself. Ladies, you're going to try to preserve yourself. And to
That's
Yes,
preserve
ma'am.
something is to keep
true.
it,
That's
to
true.
maintain it, to sustain it in the original state. So you're gonna try, you do not preserve nothing that is not of value. You put
Value.
it in
Value.
That's it.
garbage.
That's
Put it
right.
to it. We take out insurance policies and our homes and our, when they have hurricanes come in, you try to preserve your property. So what about us? Hello, we are valuable.
Hmm.
We are
Yes.
fearfully
Yes.
and wonderfully made. There's not, we are God's design original. And when He made us, He said, this world can't take another Marissa. It can't take another Cheryl. No, not two. Another Minister Harris. Another me, not another one of you ladies that are watching. No, there's only one of you. So you got to see yourself of value.
That's right.
Valuable. And not only valuable, by other person's perceptions or attitude, but by valuable how you see yourself and how God sees you, because sometimes you measure yourself by how people what people are saying about you and the
Yeah.
things. Yeah, you don't, ladies, we don't do that. We don't do that, because today they tell you you're old and foolish and you begin to get old and foolish, and tomorrow they tell you you look like a hot number and you begin to look like a hot number, you look like a seesaw. No, 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 you don't measure yourself by what other persons are saying. You measure yourself by how God values you, and you see the value in you. And that's when, if you're valuable, you will try to preserve you. That means you're going to love yourself. You're going to take care of yourself and be your own hairdresser and be
Yes. Try a thing. Try a
Oh
thing.
boy. Oh
You
That's
know,
boy.
as you're
right.
saying
Put
that,
them in.
Michelle, and
Wow.
I'll probably put myself out there. I actually do my own hair.
Mhm.
I've been doing
Wow.
it.
Awesome.
This is to me. One thing I love is the fact that I can come home today and I feel like I want a head of weave, and I want to then put my hair in one tomorrow. I've had people say to me, "But wasn't your hair? Which hairdresser you? You know, that was me. I came home and then give me 2 hours, and you'll see a different hairstyle."
Yeah.
And that was me expressing me.
yes,
You know that expression of who you are. And I want to say this. You might hear us talk about the expression of all the things physical, and Michelle just said about preserving. I
Mm-hmm.
want us to understand. Usually, when you see what's on the outside, it's a manifestation of generally what's on the
What's going
inside,
on inside?
yeah,
Definitely.
and we need to understand that it's not about us focusing on the outer beauty. But yes, you had to you it is a process. We heard that this morning, even on Men on Monday. It is a process. Everything is a process. There's no way that you can get from point A to point B. Even as Minister Mark said, Bishop Mark said, you have to turn to get to point B. So it is a process of you understanding that you speak to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you manifest what you speak about yourself. Life
that's
and
right.
death is in the power of the tongue,
That's
and you eat
right.
what you speak. You're not going to speak to yourself damning words. You're going to speak words of power to yourself. So you eat the fruit of what you have spoken. So we need to understand that you speak to yourself and you encourage your spirit. Minister Andrew said, the flesh was the spirit was willing, but the flesh just wasn't self-talk. After coming to that
Mm.
point, Minister Andrea, what did you say to yourself through the process to come from point A to this point B?
You know, Marissa, the Bible talks about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I, I understood that there are times when we would have the thoughts that are not conducive to us moving in the right direction. But the important thing is to be able to capture those. I mean, hold them captive, lock them up, lock them up. Do not allow them to control you. And that's what I recognize. I recognize that my internal dialogue must be and will become a reflection of my actions. And so I have to be careful what I tell myself, so that now I cannot afford to operate from how I feel. I must operate from one what the word of God must govern me. And so despite how I was feeling, despite how things have looked, despite how the environment was, I still understood that I function. I operated from what the word of God says. And because
Amen.
I operated from what the word of God says, despite the fact that I didn't feel what the word of God says, I got to start telling myself that. So be transformed by the renewing of my mind. So I had to be careful, one, what I allow in through my ear gate. I had to be careful what so that's why I had to be very intentional even about social media, what I viewed, what I listened to, what I heard, what people were saying. I made sure I chose to pay attention to what mattered to me. So those things that were not important to me, I did not pay attention to. I had to make some harsh decisions about even not reading, not listening, not taking in information that would otherwise bankrupt me. That would, I mean, make so much withdrawals from me that when I was finished, I would have been bankrupt emotionally and mentally and psychologically. And in the season, I had to say to myself, girl, you gonna make it. Literally, girl, you gonna make it. Even though sometimes I wasn't feeling that. I had my internal dialogue had to be of positivity. It had to be based on what the word said. So that we need to understand we can't function from our feelings. We cannot function from our emotions. We have to function from what the word of God says. That is what must govern our lives, our emotions, what we think, how we react, how we respond. And that's what I did. I was really very intentional about paying attention. As you said, that's one of my scriptures. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. And my words are they have creative power. Therefore, what I say will create my reality. What I say will create my reality. So that I had to be careful, even despite what was happening around me. I had to be careful not to jump on the bandwagon with others, what other people were saying, what was being released out there via social media and everything else, and do some censoring. I want us to understand we got to censor. There's some stuff we got to censor, some stuff we got to delete, we got to get rid of, we got to make sure it doesn't pass through those gates. Because the moment they get through the gate, they have the right and the privilege and the authority to impact our lives, impact our emotions, impact our wills in so many ways that we don't even understand. And then we wonder why we feel the way we feel, why we react as opposed to respond. When we respond, we're going to think consequentially. When you're going to react, it means that you're going to just fly off the handle and then you're going to think about it afterwards. But when I have the inner dialogue, I am able to think consequentially so that I think before I act. So that I was careful in this season, as for the last 20 months, to pay attention to what I permitted to come into my space, my mental space. I was careful about that, very, very careful, because I understood based on what I entertain will determine my response, my feelings, my emotional state. So I was really, very, very careful what I entertain, and that's how I manage with the self-talk. That's how I manage, Marissa, because and there were times I spoke to myself like David would have spoke to himself. I would have
Yeah.
said, "Girl, come on, it's not going to be always like this. You may feel like this, but it's not going to be always like this." And I remember you guys would know that. Some of you would know that for like probably like over 5 years now, I started to talk and embark on writing a book. And that's what, when you were talking about regrets, that was one of the things that I felt bad about, because I'm saying, you know what, I started, but I never ever continued. And I felt really, really jacked up about that, really jacked up about that. And I had to pull myself together because I was beginning to be on this guilt trip and feeling like a failure. And
Yeah.
feeling like there were certain things that I wanted to accomplish that I didn't accomplish. And there were certain things that I should have done, I have not yet done. And I had to self talk again. Delayed is not denied. Not now does not mean not ever. And I had to tell myself, I had to start telling myself, as you said, sometimes when you look on and you see persons doing and accomplishing and advancing and making it, and you feel stuck. You feel as though, and the truth is, Michelle, I think would have alluded to it. Sometimes people look at you and they have perceptions of you, they have their opinions of you. Some think that you are so good, and others think that you just ain't nothing. You understand what I'm saying? But then, despite what people think about you, if you don't think right about yourself, nobody's opinion of you, whether it is good or bad, will help you in the process. You have to first think positively about yourself. So that inner dialogue is very, very critical to where we will go. the journey that we will end up on, whether we will be on a journey of discouragement and depression, or if we're going to just pick ourselves up when that door closed and you didn't have a job. You could have said, well, you know what, but why this happened to me? I have an old pity party and self-loathing. But no, what happens sometimes is that when something happens, it causes then those giftings that are in us to come to the fore, to be
That's right.
activated, because necessity is the mother of invention. So that then, out of necessity, you find that you are able to become more accomplished
That's
than
That's
you
it.
were,
That's
because
it.
you were in an area that you felt comfortable and you were at ease. But then necessity thrust you into intervention and invention, and then greatness comes out. Power comes out. And that's what I had to tell myself, you know what? You have power over your peace and your pain. So talk to yourself and make sure at the end of the day that you walk in peace and not feeling discouraged or run down. That's what I had to do.
Yeah, I like
That's what I
that.
had to
Self
do.
talk.
Amen.
Powerful self talk. We've got another
Wonderful.
video to share with you. Then I'm going to
Wonderful.
ask the ladies. So, some of you have been sharing. I see Mavis and Joan, Boyce, Shori, Andine, Marcia. Good evening to all of you who are with us. I want to encourage you to like and share our video as you go to our page. Feel free to like and share. And we've been sharing some nuggets with you, some quotes. We've also been sharing some videos. You'll actually be seeing what some persons have been doing to maintain self-care and self-compassion to self. So we're going to be sharing some of those nuggets with us. You must stay tuned to our Women of Excellence page and our YouTube page. We're ready to share with you another video of self-care, self-compassion, and this month of October.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and this is my self-care video. Doesn't it look as though God took a paintbrush and created this magical piece for us to enjoy? This year, I decided to come to the beach a lot more. Forget about pre-planning weeks in advance. Let my hair down, enjoy God's creation, and be at peace. I couldn't swim, so I enlisted the help of legend swimming on my journey. Now, I'm not perfect, but I've conquered fears in the water. I can actually move in the water, something I am so proud of. Here, I find I'm at peace, relaxed, can actually have fun, and the best part is, it is in the confines of God's creation. So what do you do for self-care? I implore you, take a break, reflect, refresh, reset, restart.
I love
Awesome.
that. I
Beautiful.
love
Awesome.
that.
Good.
Have you guys, listen, you guys, did you guys see they put you there, right? Take a break. And that's one of the things we want you to do in this season. Take a break, take a load off. And I will say that it's amazing that I wanted to start. I'm glad that Minister Andrea talked about the fact that she wanted to write a book. She started to write a book, sorry. And sometimes some way along the journey, she was not maybe as disciplined in getting it to the point where she wanted it to get. I will also tell you I had some books writing too.
Wow.
But I actually completed two snippets of it, and I was saying, you know what? As I heard Minister Andrea, I wanted to encourage others. I'm sure there's some things that you wanted to do, just like our guest who just shared that she wanted to learn to swim. But somehow along the way, we didn't take advantage of the opportunity to learn to swim. And a lot of you are living in beautiful Barbados, and again, you still don't go to the beach. Go to the beach. Let me
Yeah.
say that.
It's
There's
peaceful.
something relaxing about going to the beach. Now, I don't want my weave wet, but I go to yes, but go to the beach. Go to the beach. Now, I want to ask you, ladies, Minister Andrea, you talked about the book. What are your future plans in terms of this book? Are we going to keep working at it? Are we going to decide, what, I'm going to stick a pin here for a bit? Because sometimes it doesn't mean that you can't stick a pin, because you may not be at a place where I want to finish it in this season. Or it could be that, what, I'm going to challenge myself to finish this book. For others, I want you to share in the chat, what are some of the things that you started to do in this season that you took up that are new things? I'm going to hear from Minister Andrea, Minister Michelle, and Prophetess Cheryl.
what are some of the things that you're looking forward to finish or start on that you've probably procrastinated with? Because I procrastinated, I confess that. And I'm sure we've all at some point in time with something. Minister Andrea.
Yeah, you know, Marissa, like I started one book like could be about 5, 6 years ago, huh? And the interesting thing is about I had about probably three prophecies that person said to me, "You're gonna write a book." Michelle is there; she can confirm.
Yeah.
And then last year, I started another book, and it was like really feeling on a guilt trip because I'm saying, they will tell I'm really very transparent. So I tell them, help me to pray against this spirit of procrastination. Because for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. But again, I started that one. I started the other one. I stopped again. And I'm saying, you know what? I I I I need to do what I need to do because then someone reached out to me and said, but you need to write a book. I mean, during COVID, during COVID. And I'm saying, God, Holy Spirit, are you speaking to me again? Are you getting under my skin again? Because what happens then is that there's this feeling of unfulfillment. There's this feeling of like dropping the ball. There's this feeling of
Yeah.
like failure is, and I'm being honest, because having started two and not completing either of them makes me feel that, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? And I need to get with this program. And I'm glad that I can talk about it now because I am sure that somebody will hold me accountable, having heard me this evening, will hold me accountable for fulfilling this whatever we want to call it, for completing this book, that one that I started like 6 years ago, and then another one that I started last year. And I challenge you. You can hold me accountable because I told myself, I started telling myself, girl, you need to get out. And this is where self talk came again. But what I found is that in COVID, the fight or the resistance to doing those things that are right sometimes can be so strong, and we have to be careful with the negative self-fulfilling prophecies, for want of a better term. So we have to be careful what we say about ourselves. Oh, I don't think I can do it, or I don't think I have the ability, or we have to be so careful what
Amen.
we say. Because
Amen.
if we are not careful, they can turn out to be self-fulfilling prophecies that will
Mhm.
not do us good. And so once God has said it, and we know for sure that God has called it, He has ordained it, we have to get up and with the help of the Holy Spirit, press our way through. And I make this public declaration this evening that I will press my way through.
Amen.
And having been asked by Marissa, I will seek to complete what I have started. I I give you the right, the legal right to hold me accountable to
Mhm.
what I have said here this evening on this fifth day, sorry, the fourth day
Fourth
of
day.
October at 5 minutes past 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I give you the legal right to hold me accountable
You
for what I
know,
have said.
we ladies will, we will. But I want to say something to you, Minister Andrea, and in terms of compassion, because there are times I know we talk about procrastination, and maybe it could be procrastination, maybe. But I also believe that there are different seasons of our life that we go through. That as we compile and we put the finishing touches on what God has allowed us to write, we write from a different perspective, and we write with a finishing
True.
perspective, if I can say
Yes.
that, which allows us to show the nature of growth that we've experienced, the maturity that we've experienced, and it also will allow us to write from a different perspective that allows others to come to their place of healing. That's how I see it. Because sometimes we think that we need to finish and rush and do it and rush and do it. But sometimes maybe I'm sure when you look back at yourself 6 years ago to where you are today, you are not the same person. So your
Not at all.
perspective of writing now is at a different level.
Level.
So you produce more because of your journey. And I know we call it procrastination sometimes, but I also know that sometimes when I look at the process that I have been through, if I Marissa right now from this perspective, it is a
Mhm.
completely a place of wholeness that I wasn't at a couple years ago. So I understand sometimes that this is the process. This is the process that we have to go through. But I will hold you to it. Do not let 2022 come and there's not a printed copy of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Just saying. Minister Michelle, what have you taken up besides walking and making sure that you're fragranced while you walk? What else?
After hearing from after your question, I started to say, Lord, yes, I believe you're speaking, because it is, I have some original music that I want to produce, and
Say that again.
some music. Yes, yes. I remember something that the Lord said, and music was coming and words were coming, and I recorded them, but that is as far as they got. I just recorded the lyrics and the rhythm and everything else, but that's as far as I got. I remember during COVID, I was approached by a young man and said, "Are you ready?" And here for my finger, I'm gonna tell you when I'm ready. I'm gonna tell you when I'm ready. And you walked away, and the joy of doing it is there. The joy of wanting to do it is right there. But it seems as though to get up, and this is where again you gotta slap yourself to get up and to get in the driver's seat and begin to start to drive is where the fight is. And to hear you now, Marissa, asking this question, I say, God, are you speaking? Are you trying to tell me something, God? Is it the right time now? But that is one of those things I want to produce my music. I want, it is there, and I want to produce my music. And I know, and I am speaking to myself, and I know it will happen. It shall happen. It will happen. It will happen. Because it's always a dream of mine to do such.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. See, so
Yeah.
everybody's hearing. Y'all, when you see Minister Michelle say, how's that music coming? How's that production coming? Hey! So Minister Andrea in the book, Michelle and the music. Prophetess Cheryl, what would you like to finish, start, complete in the season?
Well, I would like to, and this I have to say, after the first and second and even third confirmation of someone telling me that I need to start teaching of the gift of hair that I was just gifted with, to start teaching people how to take care of their hair, how not only take care of their hair but how to style their hair. And they have children, teach them how to comb their children's hair. And almost three people told me that throughout the COVID period. And honestly speaking, I know I can do it, but I'll be very frank with you. Like everybody is talking about transparency, I'm gonna be transparent. I just flat out scared.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh
Because
man.
you have the ability to do it, but
Mm.
I don't know, it's this you're just afraid to take the step. You're probably afraid to fail, you know, afraid that it wouldn't turn out how you expect it to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
Or you start something and you're afraid of what people are going to say. Is she doing this thing correctly? Does she have the qualifications to do this? Who tell her she can do it? And it brings apprehension. And let me forget about all the fancy words. Just flat out scared.
Shasha, can I say something to you? I, I know what you're saying, Cheryl, because listen, even at my age, I mean, like, at your age, it isn't that you're old. I understand what I'm saying. It's not that you're old, but you, at my age, at my age. So here is where you there's a sense of timidity. You kind of, you sure, it is in your heart. It is in Cheryl. You can feel it, right, Cheryl? You can feel it, right? And you
Yeah.
can actually see it, right, Cheryl? You can see it. You can even taste
But
it,
why
Cheryl.
don't we do it? Why don't we do it? Why?
That's the question you lazy to ask yourself. Why don't you do it? Now, I'm actually looking for the chat to see what some of you ladies have said that you have started to do. I see some encouragement going out there to the ladies to encourage them to start to do it. But I also want to ask, what are some of the things that you want to see yourself do in this season? Share with us some of your stories that you've said, you know what, I want to do this. I see
Wow.
Star saying, I started baking, knitting a scarf. I like
Wonderful.
that. You see, those are the things that and you, there's just a sense of
Good.
accomplishment to know that you did. I actually started doing an online digital course, and I received my certification in that. I also started to do um, now for those of you who don't know, I'm a creative, but I'm not as good as some of the others. I see some people create some stuff that some good, but I actually started to spend some time with the courses to find out exactly, how is it done? How do you get that done? So I actually challenged myself to learn something new in terms of the process of video editing and so forth. I challenged myself to do that. So I like that. I like the things that COVID has been tough. I don't know about anybody. It has been tough. Patricia
Yeah.
says, I started the kitchen garden and loving it. I also see Jeanette says she wants to learn to swim, all of these things. So while we're sitting at home, the thing is that we seem to think we have more time, but we really don't. I feel as if I'm doing more at home than I would have done along the way. I feel as if I'm doing so much more. As Mr. Cheryl says, the children are home. She had to, there was a challenge there of the house because that's what she likes. That's what her norm is. And then Minister Andrea talking about the fact that she's not challenging herself to finish her book. Minister Michelle, her music, producing it. It is amazing that we have more time, but yet still we don't have more time. Anybody understands what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have more time, but yet still we don't have more time. So we have to now use what we have as best as we can. Caroline says I started to sell fish
That's
cakes
good.
and batter. I
Good.
like that.
Yeah.
Karan says she will take. Julie says I want to finish my course. Karan says I will take my baking more serious, my baking business more serious, and step out in faith and at open her
Yeah.
baking business and so forth. So I like that. Creating her own brand. So it has challenged us, to tap into what we have. She says, Wilma says she got a keyboard, started doing some online piano lessons. So all
Wonderful.
of these things, you see, all of these things we're challenged. And I want to say this: we must not believe the lie that we are too old.
It's true.
There is this thing, and I found it's a Caribbean thing. If you've traveled and you've lived abroad, you would understand. We think that when we hit, let me say because I'm not 50. So I would not say I'm 50. I'm not 40 yet either. So I'm going to brag on that. I ain't 40 yet either. But we have this sad mentality where when we hit 50 as Caribbean women, we think of ourselves as old, starting to age. You hit 60 and the grays come and you are old. 70 and you're seniors and
My
aging.
goodness. No loss.
It is a lie. I will not live like that. If I can, I will still be wearing my weave. You understand me?
I agree
I'm
too.
just saying,
Yeah.
we have to stop this mentality where we think that we are aged because yes, you may not be able to do as you would like to do. Patricia says she's completed an online course in social media marketing. I like that. So we must not think that because we've reached a certain age that we are old. I'm serious, Sally. It's amazing how people think when they
It's
become
true.
50 that The broad rim hats have to come. Mind you, I love a fedora hat, but I am just saying that that mentality, you cannot keep your groove. You cannot continue to show yourself some self care and self compassion with a mentality where you think that because you are 50, that you're, listen to me, you can be 50 and fly,
Mm-hmm.
60
Mar-
and sassy. I'm just saying, Cheryl, go ahead.
yeah, I would like to interject there. What happened is that you see this forum that we're in right now. Okay, as you said, you're happy to say you're not 40 yet. So I'm 51. Michelle, you are.
53.
Minister Andrea.
Girl, in a couple of weeks, I'll be 60 years old. In a couple of
Amen.
weeks.
So
Yes.
listen, they have us, the audience have us to
To
look
look
at.
at.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
What Paul say? Look at me as
Mm-hmm.
I follow Christ.
Yeah.
You will follow as I walk. Now for us three, let them look at us.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
they
but
have a
but they're
Eh,
coming to behind you
oh,
all too. They're coming. They're
let
coming
them look.
too.
Let them look at me. Let them look at
eh,
Michelle. Let them look at Minister Harris.
They're
And
coming too.
listen, you will see how you ought to carry yourself and
Yes.
how you have the ability to always look good, to look
mhm.
fine. Don't say, well, I don't have money to go to the hairdresser. But look, you heard from Michelle
Michelle.
what
Yeah.
Yes.
she did. She learned to do her own hair until her husband said, when did you leave the house? She became her own
Yes.
hairdresser.
Yes.
You know, Minister Andrea, when you go up at that
Yes.
school and you put those
Yes.
heels on
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they look on you,
Oh, yes,
they're gonna
ma'am.
say, I
Get my
want to
groove
be
on.
looking like her.
Mm-hmm.
When I
Yeah.
reach that age, we
Yep.
are here. Look at
Yes.
us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You
I,
understand?
and I
And
want
you
them to be
have a
encouraged too,
pattern,
Cheryl. Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes.
I want them to be encouraged because we
Yes.
have to stop. We must, we have to unlearn some
Yeah.
lies that we have been believing in. You are married, and notice I said this. Cheryl says that her husband is at home and she still dresses to make sure that he is pleased and excited by her. And I'm thinking, people are married and they forget that they can still look beautiful in their home with their
Thank you.
husbands. Now
Thank
I
you.
ain't married, but when I get there, they God help him. But I'm just saying that at the end of the day, we must
Yeah.
stop this.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at me. The men on Monday will tell you the truth about me. I keep it very real. I'm thinking that we have to unlearn some myths and some lies
That's true.
that we have held on to. That for those of you who are married, get your groove back. I'm gonna go there. Have your date night. Why can't you have your date
Yes.
night at home? Put the children to bed and tell them, okay, you have your devices. Nobody come out because tonight is daddy and it's our time.
And
Get your groove
Marissa
back.
is even better if you don't have to put the children to bed. I mean, you do your own stuff. You do your own thing. So it is you and it's two of you. And if you're an empty nester, it's better. There's
Yes.
no interruption. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta make it work for you. And that's the
Exactly.
problem. People look for Hollywood to teach them, or no. You have to make it whatever can work for you, make it work for you. Do not depend
Yes.
on Hollywood to help you to get your groove on. No. God gives you the ability and the wisdom or the understanding. Make it work for you. That's what we need to do.
And can I interject there? And this is, I'm throwing this out to the women. Even if your husband, okay, is not doing it, don't wait for him to do it. Okay? What you say, well,
Yeah.
he's supposed to take me out. He's supposed to be thinking about all these romantic things to do. If
Hmm.
he's not thinking about it, well, you think about it.
Hmm.
You set the table. You said, listen, this is what we're doing tonight. Okay? I don't care if you have this or that or whatever. This is important. So you set the table and listen, you make sure that you look fine. All right, you're looking nice, and say, we're gonna have supper, we're gonna have dinner. Most of, well, my husband, you're hearing me because I know you listen. I take my husband out. I do,
I love that.
especially in the early years of marriage before he started going traveling to work. I said, no, we're going out. Let's go out. Let's have a nice night. Let's have a date night. Let's go somewhere. And I will do that. But what happened is that most wives too much Hollywood
I
and
like
think
that.
that the husband always have
Go,
to
Sasha.
take the initiative, but the husbands don't have to take the initiative at all times. You take the initiative. You want to feel special? But here what? You make him make you feel special.
Hmm.
Teach him how to make you feel special.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Although, but listen, but remember, you're not depending on that to always make you feel good. You have to be able to
To do it
make
yourself.
yourself feel good. And I believe when you have reached to that point, you have confidence enough. Hey, I know how to treat myself good, so I'm not suffering from no, inferior complex or anything like that. But at least if you want the relationship to be at another level in the sense of more romance and so you do it, man, and bring him along and say, well, this is how I like it. You could do it like
And
next time. you know
yeah, and Cheryl, and added to that, the other truth is, what about the woman that the husband is not that receptive, or does not offer, or does not show the affection and the romance and so on, and even like you might use your initiative, and
Mhm.
he's not open to accepting you doing that. Then you have to now step it up on your part and say, you know what, whether you want to or not, or whether you are willing to come alongside, I am going to still feel good about myself. I'm still going to take care of myself, because the truth is, the reality is that everybody doesn't have it like Cheryl and Dr. Earl. Everybody don't have it like Cheryl and Dr. Earl. The doc and the sister, everybody not like the doc and the sister.
Yay.
There's some people that the husbands are not that open, or the spouse. Let me say the spouse, because there are men that might be listening. The spouse is not that open. What are you going to do? The fact is that because we only have control over our individual
That's it.
selves,
That's right.
because and that's why we're looking at self-care, because in
Yeah.
some instances, in some relationships, after some years, there's some relationships that are like ships in the night. You live in the same house, you might even sleep in the same bed, but you're like a ship in the night. There's
Yeah.
not that romance, there's not that intimacy.
Mhm.
What are you going to do? Are you going to curl up in a fetal position and die?
No,
Are you
no.
going to pick yourself up and say, you know what, yes, I didn't sign up for this, this is not what I expected, but you know what, my hope is in God, so I am going to care for me.
For me,
I'm going to love
exactly.
me. I'm going to have compassion on me. And even though, yes, I might desire to have my significant other, my spouse, come alongside me, and to show me, love, and to show me affection, and to take me out, and to say, oh, girl, you look hot, or whatever. Even though I'm not saying that, I go look in the mirror and I said, girl,
Amen.
you getting it on today. You look hot. Come on, learn to validate yourself.
Yeah.
Learn to
I believe
love
that's
yourself. Learn
what
to build yourself up.
builds
If
up.
somebody don't do it for you, do it for
That's the way I
yourself.
feel. Amen.
Yeah.
And you know what, Minister Andrea, and
Yes,
for,
please.
and for those ladies, a little bit, I'll give them a little bit of advice. Set the table, one candle,
I,
one
I,
glass,
I.
one plate.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he comes in, say, what's going on here? Say it's all for me. I am so special.
Mm-mm.
I feel so good. I just want
Yeah,
to make me feel good.
yeah,
And
yes.
then all of a sudden, he will get the message.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that, Cheryl. I love that. I smile, Minister as you said, which is true, the only person you can control is you.
Exactly.
Today my husband was at home, so he had some work going on. Now normally, you're married, I was reading something today and it said, make sure that you kiss your husband early in the morning and you kiss him, the last thing at night.
Mm-hmm.
So he was doing some stuff and he came into the kitchen and I said, wait, buddy, I ain't getting my kiss for the day. What I'm saying is that I didn't get my kiss, and I stamp in my feet. I'm putting my foot down now. This is my time. I putting my foot down. So you gotta deliver.
That's right.
He did deliver. But what I'm saying is that that was my moment. That was
Yes.
for me. But also, I did not stop and say, "Well, he's so busy," and and I gone with a sad face. No, no, I made sure that I got my moment, and we got our moment, and he enjoyed that. So the thing about it is, you can only control you,
That's
and the
right.
things that you would desire to gratify you. Don't expect the other individual or your husband to
Yeah.
know everything. Some things
Yes.
you, as the wife, you gotta initiate. You know,
That's correct.
I always like to say I put my foot down, and I go smart, I put my foot down because I'm the woman in here, I'm the wife in here. He always laughed at that. He said, "What foot down you put in now?" Yeah, because I know it's my it is my time to get what I need. And that moment, that I felt good at that moment because it gratified him, it made him happy, and it made me happy
That's
as well. And
right.
sometimes you be the individual, even as a wife, we've got to initiate. You
I
gotta
believe
initiate.
so.
You gotta initiate and get out there and do, and then you recognize that when you do that, Cheryl, things turn around. Come on, the candle
Get the
works.
message.
The candle works.
I think we're gonna have this upon women on Wednesday one morning. Bring women on Wednesday one night, and let you ladies come and share some more nuggets, because we're talking about self care and self compassion tonight. And I really want you to understand that as we share these nuggets, and as Minister Andrea says, everyone's household is not the same. But you need
Correct.
to find your way to show self care to yourself, where you're not neglecting yourself, and you're also compassionate to yourself. You're not so hard on yourself, especially if things don't go the way that you expect them to go. And I think that we need to understand that there's a process to it all. There's a process to it all. What are you saying to yourself that shows your self love? What are you saying to your spouse that shows them love also? That will change the whole atmosphere in the home. It just said, sit down with your glass of wine. I know some of you all will say, not a glass, but I sit down with my glass of wine in moderation. And I enjoy and have some time for myself. My girls
Correct.
can tell you that. There are times when I go with the girls, and we go out as a family and we have our time together. But the thing is that if you keep giving and giving and giving and pouring out and not refilling that glass, you are going to be drained. You are going to be empty. And the truth is that then you'll be working on fumes. You will be working on fumes. And you have to remember, however you choose to show that love to yourself, whether it is that you decide, I'm going to get my hair done today, I'm going to get my lashes done as Minister Cheryl. If I'm going to decide that I'm going to go to the beach and sit today and just have some quiet time with myself, whatever that looks like for you,
To it.
you've got to do it.
Got to
That's
do
why
it.
we said today, that today in the month of October, we're starting a new habit where we decide, I'm going to show myself some self-care. Now, for those of you who are women, on Wednesday we know we talk about a cupcake moment. A cupcake moment where you take it. You There are certain rules. It must not be less than 15 minutes. It must be 15 minutes or more where you do something for you. 15 minutes or more. And I started that because I found that we became so busy, mothers, teachers, ministers, whatever, that we forgot to take care of ourselves. So, Minister Andrea, whatever that 15 minutes means, if that's your cup of tea in the morning and you sit in the patio and you are just enjoying that quiet time. Minister Michelle, if that's you, I don't know. maybe in the kitchen and you're singing your heart out. If that's Minister Cheryl and she decides I'm going to spruce up myself, go and get my lashes done,
And
what? But
and close off my website. Close
yes,
my
goes off your
website.
website.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying
Take
it
a day
cannot be
for
less
me.
than 15 minutes. It
Mhm.
must be 15. You can do a whole day if you want, but it must
Yeah.
not be less than
Mm,
15 minutes. Because if we
mm,
don't take time for ourselves, we become run down and we become haggard, and then it flows from the inside out. You no longer take care of yourself on the outside, and then you're wondering why people do it for you because you matter. Now we're going to wind
Yeah.
up. We have just about a couple of minutes. We're going to wind up, and we're going to share with you another self-care, self-compassion moment. Remember, ladies, we want to hear about your self-care, some self-compassion moments. Hashtag take a break, reflect, refresh, reset, restart, ladies. That's you. That's you. Let's hear another moment.
Mm.
Hey, I'm Shelly. Outside, enjoying the breeze. It's fresh, it's clean, it's crisp, and I am enjoying my self care, self compassion. I am walking for a cause, the breast cancer cause, but I'm also walking for me. Let us stop, take a break, reflect, refresh, reset, and restart. Take a break.
I like it. In the month of February, October, month of October, sorry, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Shaldine has said she's taking a break. She's wearing her pink and she's walking for a cause. And we will usually have our walk too around this time. So it's a little different. Go ahead, Minister Andrea.
As she said, walking for a cause, I want to interject here that during this month of self care, self compassion, our humanitarian support will be towards the Heart and Stroke Foundation, and we're going to be donating balls to the stroke unit of the Heart and Stroke Foundation. So we want to encourage persons, those of you who would want to be a part of this humanitarian support effort toward the Heart and Stroke Foundation. I didn't really plan to say that, but just because of what she said, so we don't have our information to put up right now. But you're going to see as our sessions continue, you can make a contribution toward these balls. Remember, um, we don't know when a loved one or whatever may have to be a part of a unit like that, but we want to be able to show some support. And so our humanitarian support for the month of October, on the 29th of October is World Stroke Day. So on the 28th of October, we will be making a presentation. Our humanitarian support to the Heart and Stroke Foundation will be a presentation of balls. So we encourage you, come on board, make your contributions, your financial contributions toward this, because you will be a part of something great, and we would want to know that you can be a part of and even participate in this important humanitarian effort. So I thought I would interject that now, as we just saw that Shelby was walking for a cause. You can be a part of a
I
big
like
cause
that.
also. Yes.
Yes, I just want to remind you to make sure you like our Women of Excellence page and subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll be sharing that information with you as we go through the month of October. Take a break with our self care, self compassion moments. Be kind to yourself. That's it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. And don't forget that, yes, we'll have nuggets every day. Nuggets, those little videos coming out every day. Even men are a part of it. You saw Wesley a little earlier. We have some men who are also going to be a part of this journey of sharing how they show self care. Almost a tongue twister there, right? Show self care towards themselves and self compassion. So we're going to wind down now, and I'm going to give the ladies about 60 seconds each, and let's see how we can just talk about, encourage others who may be finding it difficult in the season to see, what, I've really been going through. And the truth is that you ladies are here talking, but you don't know what's going through my head. You don't know what's going on in my home, what's going on in my finances. Maybe I'm not working. Maybe there's a health issue. But, to hear, some words of encouragement, some real words of encouragement through this season. Let's start with Minister Cheryl.
Well, I would like to let all of you ladies out there, and even if you're a man and you're out there, you're tuned in, uh, you definitely, I know for some, you probably don't know how to show self love, but this program tonight give you some nuggets, a cupcake time where you can take 15 minutes out of your busy schedule. You know, you're taking some baby steps. And this cupcake time that we had, that Marissa just discussed here, at least it's a baby step to say, listen, I have to take 15 minutes. I am going to tell you, I was never always like this, where I can take time and shut things off and shut this off. In my early years with my young children, I went nonstop. I didn't know how to turn off. I believed everything needed to be done. The house needed to be clean. Everything needed to be where it should be. Nothing out of place. My children were young. It's obviously that they will drop things here and there. I was always picking up. They would tell me, Cheryl, when the children are sleeping, go to bed, sleep, take the time with them, take a rest. I didn't know how. I really didn't know how to do that. I am getting better. This forum, this platform is teaching you how to take baby steps in getting your rest, in getting to reflect, to refresh, to reset, and to restart. Because I'm telling you something right now. If you're frustrated, if you're stressed, if you're fatigued, you cannot fix it unless you take a step backward, unless you refresh yourself. You need to rest, you need to relax. Only when that is done, you are able to think clearly. You're able to reset that button. How? Why? Because you would know what frustrates you. You would have known what stressed you out. You would have known what made you tired. So therefore, you're going to reset. You're going to readjust some things so that it would not happen again. And then you press restart. When you press the restart button, it means that you are starting with a clearer understanding of how you're going to do things, that you don't end up how you was before. So your restart button means that you have done all that it needed, what needs to be done, so that you're able to think clearer and that you're able to move forward for success in your life. So this is what I want to leave with the ladies tonight. Amen.
Go ahead, Minister Michelle. You have to unmute and let's go.
For all of you that are viewing tonight and you that will be watching later, I want to say to you that you are valuable. I want to say that again. You are valuable. And anything or anyone that is valuable ought to be preserved and kept. Our first nugget for the 1st of October was an empty lantern provides no light. Self-care is the fuel that allows your light to shine brightly. If you ladies keep on giving, gentlemen too, you keep on giving, and you're no use to no one, you're no use to yourself. So it tells me now that you have to try your effort best to begin to take care and love yourself so that you will continually to shine brightly, and not only shine brightly, but you can continue to fulfill that purpose and that destiny that God has even on your life. Love yourself. Be intentional about taking that cupcake moment to refuel so that you can continually give. Other persons are waiting for what you have inside of you to give out. But you've got to start with you first in order for you to give. You can do it. Yes, yes, I know you can. You can do it. I say to you, get on board. This is the month. Be intentional. I'm making it a point every day to love me and love upon me, shall. You can do it too. Because again, you are valuable and you're valuable to God. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
I love
Yes,
those nuggets. Minister Andrea.
yes. You know, there's a saying that is, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so I want to say to everyone that's listening, whether you're male or female this evening, that this month is, I believe, very intentional. I believe that
It
God
is.
ordained this month for us to step back and to take a break and to revisit where we are. And I want to remind us that the longest journey begins with the first step. So loving yourself first means, you know what, stopping and looking to see where you are. And I want to, I mean, challenge everyone to let's up the momentum. Let's begin to up this momentum and say, you know what, I am going to take a break. However, you can take a break. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel condemned. Don't feel sad. Don't feel like, someone will hate you. Just take a break. Whether someone is upset with you or not, don't worry about it. It is your time. Say, tell them, you know what? It's not me first now. It is me too. So you in the line. You are in the lineup. You were first. Everybody else was taken care of, but it is me now. It is me too. I want to challenge every one of you. Stop, pause, breathe. I mean, breathe in, breathe out, and tell yourself, you know what? If it is to be, it is up to me. So I am going to take a break. I want to embrace this challenge this evening, and remember that only you can love you.
Yes.
Nobody else can love you like
Oh, you
you. Only you can love you. So just love on yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be caring for yourself. Be compassionate and be the best you that you can be. Because if you don't have anything in you, you don't have anything to give.
That's right.
So take a
That's right.
break. Reflect. What else? Refresh.
Refresh.
What else?
Reset.
Reset. Press that button and restart. Make a move because you can do it. Because God bless you. We love you. We thank you for being a part of what we consider a great challenge and a wonderful experience and a journey. God bless you.
Yeah. Bless you too. I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight on our live show on YouTube and also on Facebook. Wherever you are, I just want you to hit that like button before you go. I can see a whole bunch of you on. Hit that like button and share it. Like and share. I believe that we share a lot of nonsense. I believe, we forward a lot of things that are not positive. So forward this, share this. You never know, there's a lady out there that you may have never met, but she will view it and it will change her perspective and change her life. I don't know about you, but sitting here with these three beautiful ladies tonight, I learned a lot. I've even been challenged. And I want to thank all of you who've been sharing your thoughts with us, your views with us, who just took the time out to just take a break with us tonight and just decide, you know what? I am going to start something new. I am going to reset and I am going to restart. Don't forget, take a break, have your cupcake moments, whatever moment you want to call it. But today, let's start a new habit where we show ourselves some self care and some self compassion. If it doesn't go your way, it doesn't matter that you don't have to get upset. Just pause, breathe. That's right. Show yourself some
Okay, move back.
compassion.
Hmm.
Boost, as they say, right? Yes. I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. And we've got more coming your way. So stay tuned. Make sure you like our Women of Excellence page. Follow us also on IG. There you'll be able to find what we're doing. Thanks to Minister Cheryl, Minister Andrea, Minister Michelle for joining us today. And also thanks to Sheldine behind the scenes. We're
Yeah.
making sure that everything runs smoothly. Thank you very much, Sheldine. And to all of you, we look forward to sharing more with you as we do what? We take a break. Hashtag reflect. Hashtag
Refresh.
reflect.
Like,
Refresh.
Refresh,
refresh,
reset,
refresh,
restart.
restart.
Mhm.
Have a good one, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us on this
God
journey.
bless you.
31 days of self care and self compassion to yourself.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm here at one of the best beaches on the island, Brandon Beach. In the beautiful evening, I'm just enjoying the water, the waves, the wind, just me, myself, and I. This is my moment that I'm taking a break. Take a break, refresh, woo! Reflect, reset, and restart. Take a break.